Hi guys, good afternoon from Dhaka, Bangladesh. After a long time back on the camera, and I'm gonna be doing a video, morning thoughts, but it's afternoon here, so officially it's an afternoon thoughts video. So I don't have any fragrance to review today. Just wanna give you some updates on my health, how I have been, and what's going on. And I would like to talk about certain point that I saw a few days back. Mark sort of discussed. So I am enjoying tea, and particularly I am always fond of Earl Grey. This is my favorite brand. Also like Ahmad tea. And health update, I don't want to bore you with so much of my health update, but I am taking antibiotics and painkillers. Thanks to those, thanks to my doctor. He's very, very kind and been very patient with me. I am taking medication for my abscess here. There's a huge one. Now it's getting a little bit better, but this whole area, I don't think if you show on camera or not. It has been very painful. I couldn't sleep for a few days and I couldn't do videos for a couple of days. So I have this problem basically due to my diabetes, lack of control on sugar, like indisciplined lifestyle, you can say. But I'm trying to cut down on sugar. I will try my best so I can be fully healthy. I actually walk every day, about 1.5 hours, and then I do a little bit of a workout. So try to lose weight and then try to stay better. But these things sometimes can be very painful. So I do hope nobody ever gets this kind of health issues because it's very painful. I just pray even my enemies don't get these, okay? And I am sorry if I kind of had an outburst yesterday. Time around is 3:30 right now. What is the time? Yeah, sorry, 3 p.m. So yesterday, day before yesterday, I saw a comment, like I see this particular kind of comments from some anonymous, like YouTube users. Obviously, it's like not every time you're gonna get a kind comment, but it says something like, I've seen this kind of comment from several people, and these are real people too. They're like, this guy seems always sick, let's get him like a donation, let's open a fund for him, let's get him a bed, blah blah. It got me really upset because I was not well. I'm after all only human, and with the sickness and all, it really got me upset. And yesterday I did say, people do say, but then I understand that this is how world operates, and sometimes people are not going to be the kindest. Some people are just mean and they have nothing better to do. And honestly speaking, I know many people, they just get triggered by, let's say I'm doing some work, from this part of the world, okay? And I have been doing this for quite a long time, since 2016. So you count the number of years, and then I've done, by grace of God, a lot of content. So far I have the highest content on YouTube as far as YouTube videos go on fragrances. So some people may not like it, even though I don't have the biggest fan base, I don't have the biggest income, but alhamdulillah, like by grace of God, I'm doing good. So when I feel sometimes, it could be linked to racial issues, like, oh, this guy, what does he know? He's living in India, many people don't know this country called Bangladesh, but it's next to India, Pakistan, Nepal, all these countries surrounding Asian countries. So they feel like, what does he know, and his fragrances, he buys all these cheap colognes, the Latafas, Middle Eastern brands, designer, what does he know? He doesn't have any niche. So, they feel sometimes that, let's just make fun of this guy, constantly taunt him. This thing happens with many other reviewers in different part of the world as well. I noticed it. They'll start to bully, so it's not a good practice, but, we have learned on better, how to live better. Just ignore these comments and block them. But anyway, I apologize if I was a bit upset, sounded a bit upset, but always remember that people are only human, and if someone is doing a little bit good, they've got a few more fragrances than you, or living a little bit decent life, it's not always nice to just make fun of them. Maybe you try also to do good work. You can do a channel, you can get good views if your work is good. So anyway, that's the health update done. So the tea is really, I'm gonna sip on the tea once in a while. It's gonna be a discussion. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm using these. These are not the most expensive pots, but I decided to get them because yesterday I showed you that I've been using this mic, Boya, for a while. These are good mics, don't make mistake. These are good Bluetooth mics. And the thing is, like, these have sound is also decent, but I noticed sometimes the sound comes with a little bit of air or a little bit of a sound, like a noise. So I'm trying to see if this is going to be better. People told me, my friends told me, get like the Samsung original, this thing, what do you call this thing, the buds, or not, I don't know what these are called, even I'm an old guy. Anyway, if you get the original, the sound will be better, noise cancellation, better feature, better sound. Maybe I'll get it in future if this one works out. So I don't have much of update. I'm just using my S23 Ultra for video, and then this. So the thing that matter I want to discuss is, let's go to the point. A few days back, one of our brothers named Alonso, he is from Mexico. He is one of our most active members in Fragcomm Bangladesh, and he sort of always encourages people, inspire people. He uploads, and he has great taste in fragrances, and he's very original, genuine person, you know, good father. He's a friend of mine also in, I think, fragrance community. I consider him as one of my best friends. So he sort of like, I'm having like hard time, I feel like they're gonna fall. Sorry. So he was sharing this video, and he actually tagged me also, saying that Robes08 Mark talked about certain reviewers who are pushing this celebrity fragrance, and they always have these on their pinned comment like get 25% off or something like $25 off, and few reviewers have these, and these are the popular YouTube reviewers who are doing fragrance reviews for some time. And he said, this is what's wrong with your Fragcomm, let's get back our Fragcomm. And then, you know, there's a lack of honesty. I don't have to really give my 2 cents because there's nothing to do with me. But then I saw Mark, you know, talking about, he's my fragrance guru, I always say it, and I even started my journey inspired by him. So I cannot ever say like you know, even if I disagree with him, sometimes I go with full respect. So he also even left a nice comment, like someone asked him in this channel that, hey bro, you are the most stand-up and the most genuine content creator, who do you suggest apart from yourself, you know? Then he mentioned my name, and one more channel, I think it was one of those girls, man, she used to I think Noel, that girl, you know, like that lady, she used to post it in our group Fragcomm Bangladesh, but nowadays I don't see her no more, but she's a very good reviewer too. So it's a big thing for me. Some of you will be saying like, what's the great deal about, you know, if Mark acknowledges you or something? For me, if let's say I was present in an award like for a fragrance, you know, hypothetically, and you'll say like, isn't that the dream? Isn't that what you're always been waiting for? I would rather see if I could meet Mark or Chad, one of these guys, Steven, who have been supportive in my channel or my goal, even nowadays, Neebs. So all these brothers, even let's say Sebastian Zara, if I could meet one of these guys in real life, that would be the ultimate pleasure, you know. For me, these guys are heroes, you know, Max Forte, like Coach Rob 619 or Drag Talk. These are guys I always followed since my beginning of my channel. So this is what's special to me. I talked to Mark one time on phone, a long time back when I was under depression and all that. He talked to me for a very long time, and I talked to also other guys, okay, Jensen's, you know, some of the other brothers. They're also very supportive. So I do work with them, and they are my friends and buddies. But what Mark sort of raised the issue is that, is there a lack of, you know, dignity or ethics, and it's more of influencers who are just trying to sell, okay? And you know, I'll talk from both sides, okay, from influencer side and also the people who are at the receiving end, who are following them or something. So some of the reviewers, let me just take some names: Steven, Big Beard B, Michelle, Carly, I think her name is Carly, that girl. She used to post when she started off in our group Fragcomm Bangladesh, and I think she now moved to Dubai. She's very popular, she's getting a lot of views, and she brings entertaining content on her channel. And there are many other channels who are doing this celebrity, I forgot the name exactly, but there's a celebrity fragrance which is worth $200 something. So they are all saying this is the number one, this is the most inspiring. And then some people like that, some people say it's BS because a fragrance just came out and it's so expensive, suppose it smells like Baccarat Rouge and there are tons of Baccarat Rouge alternatives, why this one has to be special? So it's like a pushing product. So I'll tell you, I didn't take the name of Jeremy Fragrance. He is the one sort of started doing this trend, okay? He started off in a way that at first, if you see his first few videos, he was a musician, okay? Let's talk about Jeremy because he's the biggest influencer in terms of the numbers, okay? So he started off, you know, with this pop music, this and that, but something maybe didn't work out as much as the fragrance work did for him. So he sort of moved into fragrance. He started doing Versace, Porom, and he started talking about La Nuit de l'Homme, Blood de Chanel, and then he did that famous list of fragrances that most complimented, which feature Chanel Allure, Sport, Eau Extreme, Blood de Chanel, CH Men, and a few other fragrances, Perfume 360 Red. I got to know about a lot of fragrances from his channel. So he, after that, started getting, because he's a good looking guy, he's a model, and he has a good camera setup, and you know, everything together, and he has the charisma, you know, he does have a German accent, but basically he became so famous, and guys like me sort of got very inspired by him. So alongside where I was following Mark, Steven, all these great reviewers, Jeremy is on the other side. He's more like on the uh, fun side, you know. He's more on that, not really breaking the fragrance down notes by note, where these guys are doing, Mark and other guys are doing. They were doing basically, the OG reviewers are doing basically notes, duration, longevity, or season. So they break it down A to Z. But Jeremy basically does, bro, this is so good, and he, you know, he made the fragrance very popular culture, you know, sort of. And one other thing, key difference between Jeremy and other reviewers, where I'll talk frankly, I'm not going to defend anybody's side or sweet talk. Jeremy basically, apart from at first Aventus, he did not talk about any niche fragrance. He talked about mostly designer perfumes, which cost about $50 tops, and that's why most of people could afford those fragrances. And guys like us, like we got Aquamara, Dylan Blue, La Nuit de l'Homme, all these fragrances, they were designers and they work really well. You know, most of his suggestions were good, but until one point when he started releasing his fragrance one, Jeremy fragrance, Office for him, and then followed by some of the other ones, the campaign did not start off the most pleasant for many of us. Like, we are his biggest fan. Hold on. Sorry, one of my brothers called me to ask about a fragrance. That is just a coincidence doing the video. Anyway, so I was talking, where was I? So yeah, Jeremy, when he launched his video fragrance, the fragrance definitely was one of the better, long-lasting, crowd-pleasing. But some of the things he said, sort of like, you know, I don't want to bring back all those things debate. There was a huge fight between him and Fragrance Bros and some of the other committee members. But there were things he said, it went sort of like against what we knew Jeremy as, like, this is going to be the best fragrance ever, this is going to be better than Dior Sauvage, everything. Whereas he was talking about Dior Sauvage like crazy on his channel, or something like Dylan Blue, suddenly his fragrance became better than everything else. So that some people didn't take it well, and you know, then he sort of went out of his way to promote the brand every way, promotion code, this and that. So it sold well. Afterwards, it went away, the debates. But after that, Jeremy sort of became like a brand ambassador for many brands. I heard he has this new setup afterwards, that back he has a lot of fragrances, started acting kind of strange, jumping from chairs, you guys know. And you know, some youngsters, they like it, crazy things, TikTok, this and that. And then he went for maximum views, right? So 1 to 2 minutes videos, 10-second videos, and then sometimes he acts like super weird. I don't recognize the Jeremy no more. And I actually personally at this moment, I don't follow him, but he did start endorsing brands. He started working with brands, and you know, so many of the people, they did not really feel that this is the most honest work, because if you're getting bottles for free or promoted, it's very easy to say good things about a fragrance. And he sort of like rotates, you know, you guys know, like rotates same fragrances, 10 fragrances every video, and just under different names. Sometimes this is going to be the must buy, next thing it's going to be trash, don't buy this, buy something else instead. So there's this no real steady, how to say, approach. So suddenly the fragrances become from masterpiece to obsolete, or you know, it's like not good. So after that, what happened was, there are many fragrance reviewers like Jeremy, okay? We, on the other hand, we are boring. We do long videos, you know, like I personally do long videos, and I buy my fragrances. I am not sponsored at all. In Bangladesh, nobody will sponsor you, if you do not know. But even if I do get free bottles, I do mention it, one thing. And second thing, I try to give honest opinion. For example, Luxodor send me many fragrances via or by or through Fragrantica Bangladesh, or different pages, you know, in Bangladesh. And I sort of told them, like, if you give me free bottles, I am very happy to receive it, but I'll give you honest review. If I don't like it, I'll say I don't like it, okay? And if you're okay with it, then I'll accept. Otherwise, you can take back your bottle. I don't want to be dishonest, right? So many of you also said, how come all your fragrances get high marks? See, the thing is, when you buy your own fragrances, you do not usually spend high amount of money. Listen to the logic. You don't buy like fragrances which are very expensive but you didn't like. I mean, think of it like a normal collector. If you don't like something that smells like trash to you, would you buy it with your $80, $100, $200? No. I only buy stuff that I like after sniffing, testing. If I buy something blind buy, like 1 million, some of the other fragrances, new flankers, I know they're gonna be safe because I like the previous ones, right? So I hardly do blind buying, but I mostly do sniffing and then buy fragrances. But the thing is, recent times after COVID, what's happening is most of the designer fragrances have become so expensive. I discussed this before. niche fragrances and designer almost cost the same now. So people are moving into this kind of Middle Eastern fragrances, Latafa, Rasasi, Armaf, Afnan. And the thing is, they provide so much more value because they are long lasting, great presentation, smell wise, they're very close to original, real thing, most of them. And people like it. They don't want to spend like $100 on one fragrance, they rather spend on 3 or 4 fragrances. It makes more sense. And then, people are reviewing these, a lot of reviewers like Mehdi, Sense, and then some of the other channels, they talk about Latafa mostly because it gets them views. Funny thing is, if you review something very expensive, like at this moment, let's say I pick up something like a Roja Dove and I review it, I will not get view even more than 1,000. I will get few hundreds only at best if people are interested. Sometimes I get like 100 something views for months, So what does it tell you? That fragrances which are cheaper are more popular. People are interested in those because they're looking for a budget fragrance. So I was talking with other reviewers, like Ashton, good friend of mine, and he sort of, I saw his trend that he used to do like 2-3 videos per week. Then he started doing every day, like I do. And I'm not saying that anybody copied me or anything, but it's a good way to make money. So I'm talking about reviewer side. When you do more content, you get more ads, and if you do especially affordable fragrance, you get so much more views. So basically, the trend changed from that side. Okay, but I don't know if everybody is sponsored, but this fragrance people can buy. Okay, everybody can afford, so they can buy and review. But the expensive stuff, people have problem with trust issues. Like people have trust issues with reviewers who are pushing expensive niche fragrances which are not cheap, but they're given a bottle like super rare. You cannot find this in your country, or you have to pre-order it from overseas. And when this thing happens, people like say, how come this new fragrance become your obsession or the best fragrance? And there's this Australian reviewer, what's her name? That she moved to Dubai, I think. Now she became super rich and famous. See, the thing is, now talking about crowd, when you blame the reviewers, who are the ones who made them popular and successful? It's you people, okay? And there's nothing wrong with it. If you like certain reviewer, what's her name? And she pushes Perfume Marley a lot. That young girl, and then I think Dan Norton always talks about her. Anyway, you guys know the tall girl, like the Australian reviewer who sort of promoted Pacific Rock Moss brand, okay? I forgot now. Anyway, so when you see her channel, many people complain like her channel is becoming more like just a commercial, just pushing a fragrance and showcasing, and people just see girls like, So there are problems with some guys, they just love girls, okay? And there's nothing wrong with liking girls or women. When you hear something naughty like the sexy, it's a panty dropper, this and that, believe it or not, these are the things that get most views, and these are the words they use in their title to sell. And you see great reviewers, okay? Even Dan Norton, I'll tell you, he started changing his pattern from doing great reviews. He's now doing live stream, and then, I don't recognize his work no more, right? So he is, talking about certain things that, like we're talking about Jeremy 100 times to get views. So this is what sometimes people have to do to survive. This is the reality. Sometimes this is the only earning source. This is our only earning source. So from the reviewer side, they're doing this. So it's up to people if they're going to watch it or not, right? But people choose to watch these gimmicky videos, which has, when I make top 10 lists, people watch it all the time. Why? Because people like 10 fragrances in one video. But let's say some people are really like concerned, like, hey, this is the repetitive work, or sexy fragrance, most compliment, there's no such thing, this doesn't exist. People actually don't believe so. People like entertainment. People don't like a simple, boring review at times. People want like, hey, give me something that will be fun. Give me something that is a conversation starter, or something to get me laid. Sorry to say, but people like this kind of videos. And they like certain female reviewers because they like to show skin. You never know. Like, this is the reality, and people love to believe these things. They love to support. So you cannot entirely blame your reviewers' work, even if, let's say, they're sponsored and they're doing videos which are done by receiving free bottles or money. If people chosen not to watch them, then there's nothing. People don't buy those fragrances, then there's no impact. But when people do get influenced, they trust those reviewers and they buy them, then you cannot blame the reviewers because they are doing it for money. Many of them are doing it for money or the views. This is their career, or this is their work. So the lack of honesty or the transparency is there, but it's also not really observed by everybody. So when Mark said this is a red flag, as a viewer, let's say you want to protect your money, you want to spend it wisely, and you don't want to waste your money, and you want to buy something really good, like fragrance wise. Even if, let's say I picked up a fragrance, like, let's say which one, anyway, let's say one of these Mancera's, last point. I pick it up and I say I really like it, because I think the cherry note in this is absolutely gorgeous. It's long lasting than Tom Ford Lost Cherry, and this fragrance, it makes so much more sense as a niche fragrance because it's more affordable. I will say my 2 cents, and that 2 cents could be maybe like your 2 cents as well. But sometimes people may not agree. But at least I gave you my honest opinion. But let's say Mancera sent it to me, but I hide the fact. Hey, bro, this is the best. This is the genuine masterpiece. I bought it with your own money. I don't reveal anything. At that point, there is a problem, right? So people, after a few reviews, people can call your BS. Like they can see that if it's a commercial or it's like a sponsored video. So I think as a reviewer, it's this responsibility for people. But if your target is money and then collecting bottles or get famous or numbers or views, there's something you cannot blame people for that, right? For me, I've been striving for 100,000 subscribers, which I believe I should have gotten earlier, but my numbers have been falling, like for a long time. I don't care. I've been doing my work and I'm very happy with it. So it's up to you people, okay? Ending point, it's up to you people if you want to follow certain reviewer, and if you don't trust their work. If you don't like their work and you still go and bash them, there's no point. Just unfollow them, okay? But if you really like, you think like this reviewer is doing good work, or their content is original, entertaining, or they are bringing you good fragrances, always, if you have out of the trust, maybe you can buy the recommendations. But also, best thing is you sample, right? So in this way, everybody can stay safe, and I think there's no harm done. If people, let's say they are the promoters, like they say 25% off on this fragrance, just don't buy it. That's the way to let your instinct work, right? Thank you so much for watching. Just want to talk about this, and I think fragrance game is a fun game. There's nothing to take so seriously. If you don't like it, you just quit one day. If you into it, you enjoy, no matter what people say, right? It's to each his own, right? But it's always about freedom, right? So do what you like, follow whoever you like. Demi Rawling, I just remember her name. So if you like her, you follow her, no problem. But if you feel like, hey, she's not being honest, don't follow her. This is like same with any channel, right? So hopefully, if you want to have your say, also start your own channel. That would be really, really good, and let other people know your passion, what you really feel, and your recommendations. I today saw Shubhajit, my brother. He actually is from Kolkata. He's a very, very good friend of mine and very good community member. He just opened his channel because of his passion, and he sent me his link, said, "Bhai, you are the one of the reasons I am inspired by you," and then I opened a channel. You don't know how much it makes me happy, like when I see a fresh new channel. It's always nice to watch. We're just bored of watching our own work. So take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the love, and keep me in your prayers. Hopefully I'll be doing all right 100% soon, and love you all. Bye bye.